Oh, okay.
Because I ran hard.
Yeah.
So Verge was like, dude, you do everything hard. Jump rope, shadow box. You don't need 7 days a week, 6 days a week. So the days I spar, that's the main focus.
Yeah.
Sparring and
David Benavidez teams up with Andre Ward ahead of his showdown with David Morrell. Raising eyebrows as many question if the extra training can help him overcome the Cuban slick skills, David Benavidez has entered the final days of his preparation.
Every time I have my training camp, I'll do 3 different sparrings, 4, 4, and 4. And you know, when in there, when you get the second fresh sparring, you have to adapt to your head. It helps you a
For
lot.
one of the most anticipated matchups in the light heavyweight division, facing David Morrell. In the intense countdown to the fight, Benavidez has been working tirelessly in the gym with his camp, focusing on perfecting his already formidable.
Pop's big on the rounds.
Huh?
Pops is big on a lot of rounds.
The least rounds we did were 11. So the whole camp, 3 different sparring partners, 12 rounds. I was just asking because now, like the new age people, some people say they don't spar.
It depends on guys who don't take a lot of punishment. You're gonna get hit, but I'm saying like punishment, they shouldn't spar a lot.
Yeah.
You getting beat up in sparring, you shouldn't spar a lot. But if you're a guy that, you know, basically dominates most of it, spar a lot.
Skills among the influential figures who have been guiding Benavidez is none other than Andre Ward, a retired legend known for his elite boxing technique and impeccable strategy. Ward, a Hall of Famer with extensive experience in the ring, has been helping Benavidez hone his approach for this particular bout.
Your height, your reach, and you naturally throw a lot of punches, bro. It's only 2 things you gotta work on, bro. Making this hand great. You don't have to go in there 2 fists every time. You still win, you still get off and do your thing, but it's harder. You make this great when you, with that height, when you come in, tap, tap, and then get the punches off, that much easier. You know what I'm saying? And then not trying to throw everything hard. You remember those 2 things? Make my jab great. I can win a whole round with this. And then when I want to bring these 2 hands now I'm inside, bing, bing, bing. But it's easy. You're not reaching, you're not loading. And then
While Benavidez has been known for his raw power and aggressive fighting style, Ward has emphasized the importance of relying on technique rather than brute force, despite the undeniable significance of landing power shots. Ward has stressed that Benavidez must focus on controlling the pace of the fight.
But when everybody fresh, just touch them. Because you're a big presence, so you ain't got to do a lot. You just jab, just get them in position, bing, bing, bing. All right, I'll be back to get that later. And just be patient. Your game will go up 30, 40% just on that. A lot of times what you do, you come in, you can see it. You want to go both hands. You come in, it's just, but you go here, you learn to make bing, bing. You get in position, bro, you got options now. I go here on you, go here on you, here on you, here on you. And then I'm back out with my jab. So me, everything was with this.
By dictating the tempo and using his positioning and stance to limit Morrell's movement, Benavidez can effectively reduce the chances of his opponent finding success with counterpunching or elusive footwork. Ward's advice goes beyond just the basic technical elements of boxing.
I'm not gonna raise up. I'm off to the side here, or if I'm here, bing, bing, I can here.
You kind of go with the motion of your body.
I'm reading you. I'm reading you. Or, got 3 options. I'm off to the side here, off to the side here. If I'm here, I can always bring this out. So if you throw, then I'm bing, 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 I'm right back.
That right hand, that's
this, bro, this.
Yeah.
You can be a really good fighter. Both hands. You could be all-time great if you make this great. That's the hand.
He highlighted the value of sparring, a crucial part of Benz's preparation for this fight. While sparring can sometimes feel repetitive, Ward explained it is an essential tool for not only improving specific skills, but also preparing for the brutal demands of a high-level contest.
I thank him a lot all the time, you know, because he's one of those guys that he always goes out of his way to try to help me, help other guys in the gym, and he really doesn't have to do that, but he does it out of genuine love. And
the 175-lb division is known for its power and rugged fighting style, and Ward believes that Benz's sparring sessions will be vital in fortifying his ability to withstand heavy blows and push through the physical toll of a tough fight for Benavidez. The goal isn't just to overpower Morrell, but to use his stamina, footwork, and
then he'll have a much better chance. But if he don't hurt David Benavidez or not get David Benavidez respect early, the late round gonna be David Benavidez. So if he can shock him early or have him afraid early from hurting him, knocking him down or something, he has
strategic punches to break down his opponent's defense and set up decisive shots. So, Benavidez' determination has been fueled not only by the technical training sessions with Ward, but also by his deep drive to carve out his legacy while he acknowledges his undeniable power and knockout ability.
What do you think about that?
Risky fight, but we'll find out what David Morrell really has, because a 9-0 Cuban is like a 25-0 anybody else, because they have so many fights as amateurs that they have experience beyond any measure of people that we know. So a 9-0 Cuban is like a 25-0 anybody else. So don't pay that 9-0 no attention. But we'll find out how tough and how good he is, because if he can hurt David Benavidez.
Benz's mindset has shifted towards securing a place among the all-time greats of the sport. His goal is no longer just to be a dominant fighter in the light heavyweight division, but to cement his place among the elites of boxing. For this reason, he has tirelessly prepared, focusing on his jab and his ability to work his opponent into uncomfortable positions.
Be known by the fighter that he never ran from nobody and wanted to give the fans the great fights and exciting fights. And that's why he called Al Heyman, and he said that he wanted that fight with David Morrell, because David Morrell's been talking a lot of shit, and a lot of people say that he's been ducking David Morrell. And the real fights that David wants are the Bivol and Benavidez. So in order to get those big fights, we got to go through David Morrell in order to get those other fights.
Diego Pacho firmly believes that David Benavidez will emerge victorious in his upcoming fight, crediting his relentless training and commitment despite being viewed by some as a cold and calculated figure. Pacho highlights Benz's generosity and sharing wisdom from boxing greats like Andre Ward, proving he's not just a formidable fighter, but also a mentor to others in the sport.
I anticipated this to be a very 50-50 kind of fight. I expected somebody's gonna hit the canvas, and it probably might be early, and the other person might get hurt in the fight. It's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, ebbs and flows in this particular fight, because both guys really want it bad, and want to make a big statement. It's gonna be a lot of trash talking with the build-up. So this is one of those kind of fights that the fans will actually win.
While the Benavidez camp has been overwhelmingly confident, other boxing experts have offered their predictions on the outcome of the fight, and they vary. Roy Jones Jr. has weighed in on the matchup, offering his analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. Jones, whose expertise has helped numerous fighters sharpen their skills, sees Benavidez as the clear favorite for this fight. He commended Benavidez for his power.
Tough fight. David Morrell is really good. He's really good. Yeah, he's good. I can't even. He's good.
You're kind of giving me a face like you don't know who wins that fight.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
Because David Morrell is big too. He's big for super middleweight too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's big. He can punch. He's slick. Real got that Cuban style. What he Cuban?
Yeah.
Like real slick.
But offensive with it.
Offensive with it, and those styles are tough for anybody to fight.
Even the Mexican monster?
Even the Mexican monster.
Which he believes can take down any opponent with a single well-placed shot. Benz's experience and ability to break down his opponent's defenses, Jones argued, would make him a difficult challenge for Morrell, especially if the Cuban fighter cannot prevent Benavidez from gaining control of the fight early.
Like only a few special fighters have, guys like Lomachenko, Rigan Vial, who else? There's been a few, but a handful of guys that could win a title in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights, which he did. Hey, don't forget, I know people don't give him enough respect, but he really should get it. I can't help but say it. I like people getting respect than they should. I really do. Leon Spinks, he beat Ali. After 9 fights, whatever it was. So they didn't get the Canelo fight. They're right in line for the winner of Bivol and Benavidez. And what do? They just sit around and twiddle their thumbs, or sit around and fight a soft touch. No, they take this. So I'm chomping at the bit. I'm really curious for that fight.
However, Jones also acknowledged that Morrell, though less experienced in the professional arena, has the potential to pose serious challenges. The Cuban fighter's unique style and extensive amateur background make him a dangerous opponent. According to Jones, for Morrell to have a shot at winning, he will need to start strong in the early rounds.
But the biggest problem is this. All the money is in Canelo Alvarez. But the best fight is probably Benavidez versus Morrell. You know what I mean? Like the best fight in terms of the top, who are actually the top 2 guys in this weight class are probably Benavidez and Morrell. I think they both beat Canelo. You know, so it's funny because all the money's with Canelo, so everything revolves around Canelo. And this is why this sport is back.
Making sure he remains evasive and punishes Benavidez with powerful shots to the body if Morrell fails to impose his rhythm early. Jones believes that Benavidez will eventually take over the fight, breaking through Morrell's defense and punishing him with relentless power shots the key. According to Jones, will be Morrell's ability to keep the fight at a distance, dictating the exchanges.
What's your reaction to David Benavidez fighting David Morrell? How do you see that fight?
Bueno, yo creo que sin duda va a ser una pelea muy buena. Pienso que debería ganar Benavidez por su experiencia, porque tiene mucha más experiencia que Morrell, entonces creo que es un peleador más fuerte, pero Morrell también es un peleador muy bueno, entonces sin duda va a ser una gran pelea.
You like it?
Sí, me gusta. Sí.
¿Por qué?
Pues yo creo que los dos son invictos, pues están en la misma empresa, se conocen, saben, no sé, se me hace una pelea muy emocionante.
Rather than getting caught in a war of attrition with Benavidez. Meanwhile, Benz's father and trainer, David Benavidez Senior, has been vocal about his belief that Morrell's decision to challenge his son at this stage of his career is a miscalculation, while acknowledging Morrell's potential. And skill, Benavidez Senior believes that the Cuban fighter is taking on a formidable challenge too early in his career. Benz's experience in the ring combined with his...
To be honest, I didn't see anything about this fight, but I know Benavidez, I saw a couple of short clips of Morrell, and it's an interesting fight. Really good fight.
Size, strength, and unyielding offensive pressure is expected to overwhelm. Morrell, who has not yet faced a fighter with the same level of ferocity and power, Benavidez Senior firmly believes that Morrell will regret taking the fight at this point, predicting that his son will make an example of the young Cuban as the fight draws closer. More analysts, former champions, continue to offer their opinions.
How does that fight go?
It's gonna be sick. See, those are the fights that need to happen, man. Those are the fights that the world wants to see. You know, I was talking about Bam, but there's no big names for Bam at 115. 118, maybe a couple. 122, maybe one day, 3 years from now. But Benavidez, you know, and Morrell, they both move up to a division where they're chasing the big fights and now they're fighting each other. That's just fucking badass, man. That's gonna be a sick fight.
Leonard Erb, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, has praised the fight for its potential to deliver an action-packed back-and-forth contest. Albee believes that both fighters will experience moments of vulnerability and that the fans will ultimately come out as the winners in what promises to be a thrilling spectacle. However, he emphasized that, while Morrell has the skills to make things difficult for Benavidez the Mexican, fighters' experience and relentless pressure would likely prove to be too much.
I think that David is special. I think that he's gonna get better. Like you said, I don't think he peaked. Yeah. I think he's peaking, but I don't think he is as good as he's gonna be. You never see that to you in the biggest fight of your life.
Gonna get better.
He's gonna get better. You never see how good he truly is until he's in the biggest fight of his life.
Lonnie B has praised Morrell's impressive boxing style, highlighting his exceptional footwork and defensive acumen. Morrell's ability to land clean punches while avoiding incoming shots makes him a tricky customer. And Lonnie B sees the Cuban elusiveness as a factor that could trouble Benavidez, while Benavidez typically overwhelms opponents with his size and strength. Lonnie B believes that Morrell's agility and strategic counterpunching could force Benavidez to adjust his usual approach, making for an interesting tactical battle between the two fighters.